As we're sitting, we were like this, just like this, talking. And our business was so important that we weren't listening to what Dr. Hislop was telling us. It was so important. And we were talking about the center, what date we should meet. Because earlier, 73, Mary had asked Baba if we could have a center, and he had said yes. So we were talking about that. And at that time, 75, different gurus were coming to New York and selling their wares, so to speak. Swami used to call them dollar gurus. So some of them we went to see, some we didn't. And we were talking, it was so important, whatever we had to say, and it got so quiet. So since it got so quiet, we leaned in and we started whispering to each other. It got pin drop silent. And so I'm saying, I don't know why it's so quiet. We have to meet on Fridays because we go to Hilda's on Thursday, so we have to meet on Friday. And I turn like this, right here, where this microphone stand is Swami. He's standing right there, and he looks from one to the other of us, just like that. And you know what he said? He said, I am sufficient for you. Then he made us move apart, because he walked right through us over to the Australian group. And once he said, I am sufficient for you, we knew he had taken everything and was carrying us in his hands. He gave us that level and understanding of devotion. We never looked back. We just went ahead, had our little center, we'd have meetings, go to bhajans all over the place. We came up to Connecticut, we went up to New England, because all of this used to be one region. And then because travel became so much, and so many more people came, we were divided into Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. But our hearts are still here with you. So just know he's right there with you at all times. And then to follow up, to be sure that we understood that he was right there and sufficient for us, Swami followed up with what I call a devotion dream. In the dream, I'm here. Swami's about where you are. But there's air. I'm on the edge of a cliff. Swami's over there. And I can't, he's holding his hand like this. Now, I can try and jump over to where he is, or I can trust and step out on faith. So in the dream, Swami does like this. I don't even think. I step right off the cliff onto the air. Another step, I take his hand, and we go over the ocean. And I assume in the dream that was the ocean of samsara. And he's showing all of us, hold on to God, hold on to him, whatever your chosen form of God is, and he will carry you over the ocean. Sometimes we flew low and the waves came like that. Sometimes we flew high. It was just saying, life is not going to be smooth sailing all the time. But I am with you all the time, no matter what you're going through. So that was his grace. You have to say something.
Okay. When we were working on the Pune Chandra, it was finished, Swami gave a discourse. He came and he said, no matter what country you're praying in, no matter what language you're praying, no matter what deity you're praying, it all comes to me. I am God. What greater truth can I tell you? Okay. After that, he gave a discourse. I don't know what he said because I sadly cried all the time as I was sitting there. Let me read to you something that he said. This is a direct quote. The Lord of Puttapati will always protect you. He is the ocean of compassion, holding your hand. He will take care of you. He will never forsake you. Recognize this truth. Let me give you an example of this. When Swami comes in your dream, it's not a dream, he said, it's real. He is there and he's talking to you. Even if you haven't seen him, but he's there. So I was in the dream, it was raining, and I was holding an umbrella. And the umbrella was Swami. And across the street was a man with a gun. And he was shooting at me, and I said, Swami, I'm going to die. He's shooting at me. Swami said, looked at me down, said, don't worry, nothing's going to happen. A few months later, it's near Christmas time, and we are in Queens now, and we get off the subway, I know myself, and we're walking up the ramp, and I'm sort of grumbling, why do you have to buy all these presents and all stuff? Why don't you just send everybody a card so we can save some money and stuff? You know how the mind goes back and forth, back and forth. I didn't look. All of a sudden, in the front, there's a man there. He takes out a gun, and he shoots one guy on one side. As soon as the shot rang out, you know how New Yorkers are very savvy. As soon as the shot rang out, everybody disappeared. There's nobody on the streets. And he turns the other way, and he shoots the other guy. And I push in, and those little go into the doorways to get them out of the line of fire. Now there are two people standing on that ramp. The man with the gun, and yours truly, not the bride. And they say, what they say, you should say Om Sai Ram, Om Sai Ram. I said, I didn't have any problem with that, because it was coming out automatically out of my heart now, because he's standing there with the gun pointing at me. So, for no rhyme or reason. Now, if you want to run away in New York, the best thing is to run into the subway and disappear. Nobody will find you. And I'm standing in front of him, and the subway is behind me. All he had to do is to take another shot, and he'd be gone. For some reason, he put his gun away and turned and ran down the other way. Just then the police came, and they picked up these two guys, and they went after him and got him. And I have told Anne, I said, come on, let's go do some shopping. And I didn't realize that before a few months ago, this was the dream I had, that Swami was protecting me. He knew what was coming. And he said, no, you won't die, you'll be fine. In the earlier days, when Hilda used to have a meeting, we used to, in the village, Greenwich Village, we used to, after work, we would run down and try and get good seats. One day I was running down the street in Greenwich, and there was this big guy, a crazy guy, and he was running around, beating up everybody and banging on the cars and all. And as I'm walking, I'm saying, Swami, he's too big for me to handle. What shall I do? And in Greenwich Village, they have apartments at the bottom. So this big guy comes out, dark-skinned guy comes out, and this crazy guy does him, and this black guy goes and one shot and knocks him right out. Police car pulls up, they shackle him, take him out. I don't even break my stride. I keep walking, but I'm saying, Swami, you shouldn't have hit him that hard. It's not right. So, okay, next year we go, Swami comes, and he looks at me and says, he was a crazy guy. I had to hit him hard over here. That's why I had to hit him hard over here. So I said, oh, thank you, Swami. What else can I say? And talking about the man that was sick. When we used to sit in the sand, once this Indian people came and they had a stretcher, and the boy was like about 17, but he couldn't walk. But he was something wrong with his spine. It was broken or something, I don't know. But they used to carry him, and the second day Swami came and stood in front of him. And he asked the father, what is on? Is there anybody taking care of him? And so the father said, no, there's nobody here. So Swami said, I will look after him. And he stood there for 30 seconds, and then the love flowed out. It was like an ocean. And we were all sitting there, all the men were sitting there, and everybody was crying because the love was so strong. You could feel it. You could actually feel the love. And somebody had told me, that macho men don't cry. And I looked around and I said, gee, there's no macho men around here today. They're all wimpy guys, all crying over here, And after that, after 30 seconds, Swami walked away. Come next day, the same family came. The only difference was This kid was walking, he was sitting down in darshan and nothing. And I said, that's the miracle, that's the love of Swami. One more story of love. We were again sitting in the darshan area, and this man came, and he's a poor man, he's very poor, he was all torn, and he had his grandson also tattered clothes. And while we were sitting there, Swami was walking towards the lady's side, and he just came desperate and he said, "Oh, Sai Ma." That's all he said. Swami is here. He stopped. He turned around, came straight to the man, asked him a few questions, told the man that was used to walk behind Swami. He went inside, got some money, he gave money to Swami. Swami gave it to the man. And he let him touch. And Namaskar, he says, "Now go." Then he went back and started giving darshan. Now the basic thing here, the basic line here is love. If you have love for Swami, if it comes from the heart, he's going to come. There is only one way that you're going to be able to get Swami, and that is through love. No other way. You can have all the wealth in the world, doesn't matter, he doesn't care. He doesn't want to care. Talking about love, one day, you finish one. We were sitting in darshan, again in darshan, and I was sitting here, the man who built the Poornima was on my right, and the man who washed my clothes was on the left. And we were all sitting there like this. And Swami comes along, and I'm looking at both of them, and I say, "Oh my God, we're all beggars." Swami stops and looks at me and says, "All are beggars at the gate of God," he said. "All are beggars. Everybody's begging." Then he walked out. And in Whitefield, we were, Anna and myself, were allowed to go in after darshan inside the chair to sit. So I went inside. I would sit on the men's side and she would sit on the ladies' side. I sat down. Next to me was the Prime Minister of Italy, Craxi. On the other side was the man who owns Joy Ice Cream. And of course, yours truly in the middle was sitting like this. And we all looking like a sign like this. And Swami looked at me and says, "What did I tell you?" Because he's begging, and so am I begging, all are begging. Swami, me first, Swami, me first. So, that was it. And what else can I say?
When, what separates you from feeling your devotion? We call them the Psi crimes, C-I-E, but pronounced with a Psi, because you sigh every time they're committed. And what are they? Comparison, ingratitude, and ego. That's a lesson for another time. We'll come back before 10 years and share it with you. But don't compare yourself with anyone or anything. A quick comparison story. I happen to, how much time do we have? We're over time, aren't we?
We have 15 minutes.
15, okay, that's enough for the story. Because I don't want you all out driving too late, you know? You gotta go home and practice your devotion. The comparison. Don't compare yourself with anybody. You're just as you should be. And some will have more, some will have less. That's the way of the world. And I have one comparison story that drove it home. I always have loved emeralds. And Swami said, "Don't wear too much jewelry." So that meant, no. But Bisu got me a little emerald for my birthday some years back. And I was happy with my emerald. And I was going to show it off to everybody. And I went to meeting, and Prema said, she was standing there, and she did like this. She had an emerald necklace made of leaves and flowers and emeralds, and I had this. And I was happy with my ring until I saw her necklace. Don't compare. And then I realized I better be happy with this ring, because that's it for now. Don't. Ingratitude to me is the worst sin in the whole world. You've been given so much. Nobody went home to sleep hungry yesterday. Nobody is hungry today. And you won't be hungry tomorrow. God's grace to you. You won't even know, your children won't even know what it is to miss a meal. You have 4 meals a day plus snacks. You have homes to live in. And if you don't, you live in a society where there's some kind of shelter. You have so much. In gratitude, please, never let that happen to you. Never feel ungrateful. We had a chance to be in summer course one year, 79, I think, or 8. And we were saying, oh God, we're in this dormitory, a stone room, just a stone room with windows, hard cement floor. And we forgot we're in the presence of God for a minute there. We can't find mosquito netting. We don't have mats. And so we finally constructed some way to rest comfortably for the night and found some nets and put them up. A teacher from Udi came, and she came into the room. She had a mat like this, just a spread. She folded it and put it on the floor. No mosquito netting, no blanket, no cover. She put her arm under her head as a pillow, said Sairam to us, and went to sleep. And here we are with blankets and bedding and nets and complaining. So after that, I never complained again, because she set the right example. And the last is ego. We all know what ego is. It can be subtle, it can be blatant. Don't let your ego take you off your path of sadhana. You overcome comparison with contentment. I call them the CIE solutions, and that's pronounced SAI, like SAI. Overcome comparison with contentment. Be content with what God's given you, because you have more than 90% of the world. I read a study, if you have 2 changes of underwear and 2 pairs of shoes, you're ahead of 76%. So you have so much more than, I've seen the houses you live in, so I know you have so much more. Realize, overcome ingratitude by realizing you're an instrument of change. The prayer that Swami gave us says, let me be an instrument to work. The golden age comes in through you. How you behave, the environment you create around yourself and your family. And if you don't believe it, try sitting with your spouse and your child. Just say we're going to sit quiet 5 minutes and think of a prayer. Just 5 full minutes of quiet sitting together, and see how the room feels after 5 minutes. That radiates out into everything you do. If you have anger, you'll radiate anger. If you have kindness, you'll radiate kindness. Just try it. You are an instrument. You are bringing in the golden age. And you overcome ego with equanimity, being at peace inside yourself. Just be. And should we tell them Baba break? Okay. Take a Baba break. Anytime you feel, just take a deep breath, Baba break. Just say Baba. B, begin your day with prayer. Begin any prayer. A, act, don't react. Act, don't react. Make a conscious effort not to respond in a negative way, no matter what. Be again, be thankful in every situation, and silently bless others. Because blessing others gives you an inner power, and it expands. And the last A, adapt, adjust, accommodate, because you are not on this planet by yourself. There's 7 billion other people, but you have had the good fortune and grace to know Sri Satya Sai Baba. Count yourselves fortunate. Okay, I'll close with a quote from the Prema Bahini. There is in this world no tapas higher than fortitude, no happiness greater than contentment, no punya holier than mercy, no weapon more effective than patience. Swami, thank you for inviting us to be here with you.
Well, now we have an opportunity to ask questions of Anne and Bisu, and we have time for that. So if anybody would like to ask a question. Ramesh.
Only is his question.
Wait, what?
In all of humility, did I want to share a very personal devotional experience that she had with Bhagwan, which relates to slippers.
Oh, no.
So there are lots of youngsters here, and I think that's really great devotion of you to Swami, and maybe you can share that with the youngers, and they know what they'll get the message.
The message is don't take anything that's not yours. Sometime back, I read the Ramayana, and for the first time, of course, I was grown up. And in it, Bharat is given Rama's slippers to take home and put on the throne. And I said, oh, if I ever get a chance, I'm going to get a pair of Swami slippers. So Mrs. Cowan happened to be downstairs on the first floor. We were up on the third floor. West 1, the only building they had at that time. And Swami had us all in at the same time for interview. So he told Mrs. Cowan, don't come to darshan tomorrow. I'll come to your room. So Mrs. Cowan said to us, since Swami said it in your presence, I guess you all were supposed to come too. We were only too happy. So we went down to Mrs. Cowan's room and waited for Swami. And she looks out and she says, oh, I guess he meant Indian time. She was so sweet. So we're waiting. About 10 o'clock, Swami comes. And he sits on the couch. He holds Mrs. Cowan's hand. Now his slippers are over here. Okay? I'm here. His slippers are here. Swami and Mrs. Cowan are here. I have my bag that I'm going to go shopping with. I'm going to buy vegetables to fix for the kids. Swami slippers, they're right there. He's busy with Miss Cowan. My hand is creeping. I should know better. But I'm from Brooklyn. My hand is reaching over, and I'm thinking, almost. And just as my hand is hovering, because Swami had walked out and left the slippers, I forgot that part. So they're sitting there, and we're all talking so happy about the interview. Nobody noticing the slippers except me. And I'm reaching down, just as I'm reaching down to get them, a student runs back and says, oh, Swami forgot his slippers, and he took them right out from under my hand. To jump forward, about a year later, we're talking again by his grace. Swami is happy. This interview, I don't know what grace we had earned to have this particular one. But Swami's laughing and he's talking, and he asks everybody, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? And he looks at me and he says, oh, I know, freedom. So he does like this, and he makes a pair of little tiny Swami feet with swasts on them, the chakra and the flower. And he says, and he puts them in my hand, and he closes my hand over them. He said, Bharat had Rama's sandals. You have my feet.
No. Anybody else?
Thank you for coming. It's a big blessing on Guru Poornima. But I want to request you, you have one nice share when you came out of Swami's interview room and you don't know where to go. Can you one more time please repeat that experience?
Okay, these are old stories.
Thank you.
They won't even be in the book. Poornima is referring to, Poornima is like a daughter to us. And she's referring to a time. Swami gave me one of the greatest gifts. You know, I'm always asking for this freedom and liberation, and without completely understanding what it is. So the group has gone out of the room, and I'm standing with my hands like this. Swami puts his hands over my hands, and instantly, everything, I know everything. Stars, ladybugs, grass, animals, birds, fish. I know everything. It's all connected with the most powerful force of love that you can imagine. Completely, everything. I can't even describe it because I don't have words. I knew everything. And Swami took his hands off of mine. And I think at that time he said, how do you feel? And I said, very happy, Swami. But I want to hurry up and get outside because I know everything. And I want to tell people, I want to tell my center people everything. I know the solution and answers. I know the universe. I know everything. I step out the door. Nothing. I don't even know where the ladies' side. And the boy comes up and he says, Auntie, the ladies are that way. Nothing. But at least he let me keep the memory of what it's like to go into a samadhi-like state. And for that, I'll always be grateful. Sucker.
We have time for one more question. Anybody else? What? Okay. So we want to thank you very, very, very much for coming and sharing with us on this holy Guru Poornima. We are very grateful to you both.
Thank you.
I want to share one thing. About, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, was it? That Anne got very, very ill with cancer. And it was very, very serious. And she was at the brink of heaven and earth. And she went to Swami, and Swami came up and said basically, very happy.
Yeah.
And then went like this. Just like that. Anne went for the operations. And at that time, there was one very large tumor, but there was one large tumor behind that they wouldn't have known was there. When they went for the operation, they didn't know it was there prior. The tumor that was behind came forward. And so they took them both out. And here Anne is. And Swami once long ago, with someone who had asked for liberation, he said, no, ask for something else. And then the person insisted, Swami only wanted liberation, that's it. No, ask for something. Swami liberation. You know, if you ask 3 times for something, God has to answer that prayer. That's the rule. And so she went home, she had cancer, and she got liberated. She did, from both the body and from, because Swami, the son came to Swami and yelled at Swami, not that your greatest devotee, my mother, and she was suffering and had cancer. And he said, no, it's not like that. And he went on and on and on. Finally, he said, look, I'll show you. And out from Swami's heart stepped the son's mother right in the interview and said, I'm very happy, don't cry, don't fret, I am so happy. I am one with Swami, and that's all I wanted. And so he cried, the son cried, fell at Swami's feet, and became an ardent devotee. So when we want that type of karma to come our way, you asked for liberation. Anne was going to die that time. That was it. But Swami came and gave her what she dreamed of. And maybe it's not manifested fully now, but at the time of this life, at the end, it certainly will be. And for all of us, that's the case. Swami can give you what you really want, whatever it may be, from the mundane jobs and food we need on our plates to the sublime and most heavenly goal of life, liberation itself. If you ask for it, he will give it. And Bisu and Anne shared with me before coming here, and with Roseanne, we had a little Indian lunch together at a local Southport restaurant. I recommend it highly. What was the name of that? The Indian restaurant? Yes. Oh my God. Anyway, they shared with us that in this lifetime, as we live, we have the most sublime opportunity that ever humanity has ever had, as our Guru, Swami, that if we have seen Swami in a dream or in person, if Swami has spoken to us in a dream or in person, if we have touched Swami in a dream or in person, because when Swami comes in a dream, Swami has said, it's really me. You can't make me up in a dream. Then that's those three things, Sambhashan, Sandarshan, and Sparshan. And if you believe that I am God incarnate, come to save humanity, God in human form, you will be free. Not at the end of your life, but when you believe that fully. As you believe that fully, that freedom comes. And it may not seem that we're free because the mind's still active, but the mind is only a shadow at that point. And it's not in control, Swami. In our hearts is in control. And we are born to that freedom as we live and as we pass on to the next world. So that was Swami's statement. That was, right? Swami's personally stated that. He told us. So have that faith that this world, whatever its case,